Welcome to Smash Writing. I am Paul, this is Justin, and this holiday season, we decided to go as horror comedy.
I didn't decide that. Paul decided it.
You picked the rest of the film.
Yeah, just because to be fair, I picked one, you picked another, and then I had to fill out the blocks.
Okay. Today, we are reviewing the 2023 mega hit. No, I'm playing. Or is it 2022? I don't know.
2022.
2022.
It took the world by storm.
Yeah. It crushed the box office, making $660,000. Of course, we are talking about The Mean One. And to give a little backstory, I think I came across this one, obviously, during the Blood and Honey phase. And for the longest time, I was like, I want to review that. And the way we do our recording, we do so many episodes in bulk and stretch it out because we have our own lives to do. And every time I see it on, I was like, well, I don't want to review The Mean One in, June. Doesn't make any sense.
Like this movie made sense. Come on now.
This movie didn't make any sense. And it was so... is there a plot to this one, Justin, so
yes.
you can read it?
Yes,
okay,
there's a plot.
Go ahead and read the plot to The Mean One.
The Mean One. This movie starts off reminding you of what happened with the Grinch. But then saying, what if this happened? And before, she could really touch his heart, the mom interrupts and starts wailing on him, like, get out of here, monster! And then she falls over by accident and impales herself on a little, nail.
Yeah!
And then, Cindy's like, you monster! And then we jump ahead 20 years. Her and her dad are coming back to town to face her fears, kind of deal. And they get put over by a young cop. I didn't get this guy's name till halfway through. And by that point, I pretty much settled into just calling him Young Cop. So we're going to call him Young Cop from now.
That's fine.
Now, Young Cop's like, you got to take out down the Christmas decorations. According to the chief, they cause a distraction and you got to take them down. I don't know why, but take the fucking ears off your car. But he does have a moment between him and Cindy, if you want to call it a moment. It was quite awkward. Quite awkward for us all.
Yeah, very much so. Even the dad, that's why he had to poke his head, officer, what are we doing here?
Hello there, officer.
Yeah. Here's my license and registration. Let's go.
And he even does well, we came back to town because she needs to work on her PTSD. It's like, why are you sharing that, Dad?
Yeah. They just had kind of a flirting moment, and you spring in action and go, she's crazy, just so you know. She has PTSD from her mom being murdered.
Well, she really wasn't. She was she attacked him and then he bumped her and knocked her over. At the most, it's involuntary manslaughter.
Right. But nevertheless, you see your mom get killed.
But that's important because it does play in for later. That night, she has a screaming nightmare, and he comes running in with a baseball bat. It's just weird because you figure this is probably not the first time she's woke up screaming.
Yes.
You probably didn't need to run in there with a baseball bat.
You kind of knew.
Because you know this is a thing she does.
Yeah.
Anyway, the next day we meet Mayor McBean running around putting Real X stickers on everyone. She's stickering everyone.
You see, she has her shirts like that too. She's a walking billboard.
She has her picture on it. And it's come on, we just got done with election season. Don't make me do with this shit again.
To my defense, I did not know.
We meet Sheriff Hooper, I believe his name was, in Young Cop. And we see a flashback of young Cindy. She'd met Sheriff after the murder. But that's when Dad comes back into the diner with the bad news. No one's selling Christmas decorations anywhere. Luckily for them, though, he still has a bunch in the attic. And it's if you had a bunch of them in the attic, why are you buying new ones?
They're going to still work. That's why people don't buy them every year.
Anyway, that night she's taking out the trash and she gets locked out of her house. And she's beating on the door trying to get in while she's watching her dad be, murdered on the inside. She wakes up in the hospital. She's trying to, at this point, when they're in the hospital, is that CGI fish on the desk?
Pretty sure it was.
That looked like CGI fish.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
You couldn't just put real fish in a jar?
Budget was, I guess, low at that point. I don't know. It didn't make any sense to me.
Anyway, she's telling everyone what happens, and Mayor McBean comes in, and she has a problem with this. She doesn't want to bring up the Christmas killer at all. She wants to sweep it under the rug. And she even tells the young cop, sweep the shit under the bed. And she goes to the sheriff, and she's like, sweep the shit under the rug. Let's go.
I know, right? She had no shit skills. She was like, get it done with.
Cindy's not having it though. She gets out, and she gets a mozzarella soup from young cop, and she marches up that mountain. And she gets a blurry picture of the mean one. And she comes out, and before she falls into a cave and finds a wallet. And she comes back up in time to see the Grinch attacking two people because they had mistletoe. She manages to fight the Grinch off with rocks. But the boyfriend is in like serious condition. He's being life flighted. And the girl didn't see anything because her glasses got knocked off her face.
Yeah, Cindy starts like jumping at her.
Like,
you seen it though! You seen it! She just said her glasses got knocked off.
You're pretty fucking blind if you missed a green hairy dude, though.
That is true. That is very true, but...
Anyway, the sheriff kind of pulls her away. She's like, knock it off, what are you doing? And she's like, I have photos, and it's a blurry picture. He's like, you have nothing. Go home. She's not going to go home, though. She starts hanging up flyers of the green blurry picture. All over town. Mayor's following behind her, taking them down. But that's when we get, I do believe this is where we get the school bus of drunk. Yeah, we get the van full of drunk Santas who show up to town.
Yeah, like...
The Grinch ain't having this shit. He locks the waitress, they stop off at a diner, he locks the waitress in the room. And he goes to town.
He really does. Like, the one thing I'm giving this film credit for is the kills at times.
Some of them.
Wow.
Because at times they also ruin it, too.
That's true, too.
Like, you didn't need that CGI bloodfest coming out of the meat grinder. The CGI ruined that kill. Like, you had, like, instances where he, like, rubbed onions under his arms like the cartoon character. But they edit it in such a weird, quick way that you don't understand what you just saw.
That is true.
The editing in this movie is really janky.
Janky. Go on.
Yeah, sheriff confronts her again. Like, could you please take that down? Stop posting flyers all over my town, Cindy. She storms off. But that night, though, she is attacked by the Grinch, or the mean one. She manages to fight him off, though, and then almost attacks Doc. An old Santa Claus-looking dude. Who's extremely drunk. Named Zeus.
I like how the young cop throws in those copyrights without making it a copyright issue. Dr. Zeus? Like, Zeus the god, or, like, Dr. Zeus? Okay, Dr. Zeus, let's go. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Anyway, though, he has a story to tell, because he, too, has been affected by the mean one. His wife was killed trying to take Christmas gifts to the post office. And he's been hunting this thing ever since. I want you to remember those words.
Ever since?
She tells him, or he tells her, that's why they don't celebrate Christmas here. No lights, no tinsel, no nothing. And the Grinch won't come down. Young cop, he's starting to be suspicious of everything, so he goes up the mountain himself. Dropping down into the cave, and he finds a bunch of wallets and a body. But the mean one shows up. And he manages to just work his way out of the cave without getting caught. But directly outside of the cave, you could see the cave. He's standing in front of the cave. The mean one is in there. And Doc, he runs into Doc. And then they have a full-length conversation about hunting the mean one, who is 10 feet behind them in the cave, listening. He hears you. And Doc goes away. They just leave. Like, you came up here, Doc, to shoot the mean one. You've been telling me you've been hunting him for 11 years.
And he's 10 feet away from you.
Why are you not going in the cave? This is where we get another weird sequence of events. I don't know how much of this was a dream and how much of it happened. Young cop and Cindy are having a nice little romantic meal over this fire, which jumps to a romance time, interrupted by the mean one attacking and killing them, and she wakes up.
That's where she's in the hospital.
No, she's back home still.
Okay.
No, I don't understand why this 10 minutes happened.
Okay.
None of this was needed for this movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is the final straw. She decides it's time to train. So she begins to train to fight the mean one. She bumps into young cop as she's lying her murder surprise. So, lies.
The editing of her working out was so stupid.
Well, because here's the problem with this workout session, right? Because you could tell already she's a fucking ripped badass.
Right.
You could see it under her sleeves when she's hiking the mountain.
Right.
But yeah, this movie's telling me she went from, regular person to badass ass kicker in a matter of a day. Like, this should have been a year thing. Like, she took a year and came back.
Right. That would have made more sense.
But during the montage, we also see a young cop looking up all these names of hikers. And they've all gone missing. All of them in the area. Doc has been arrested. Taken to jail. Because he tried drinking and driving. In fact, he's like, this is I'm trying to save the town. It's like, then why'd you get shit-faced before you left?
But then it's revealed he's been drinking since his wife passed away. So it's like, you weren't really hunting anything. Just so you know, you were just drunk.
As if you were hunting, you would have went in that cave a little bit ago. Meanwhile, though, sheriff catches the mayor getting ready to flee town. And we get the feeling that they're covering something up here. And they are, because the young cop takes what he found to Cindy and showed her that their last pictures that they all shared on social media all had the mean one in the background. And they all visited a hiking website that was set up by Mayor McBean to lure them to go hiking in the mountains as like human sacrifices to the mean one to keep the mean one out of town.
And the sheriff's plot was he wanted to protect his own people. So he wanted tourists to come.
Yeah.
What?
Now, at this point, he's like, he hungers for human flesh. But no, he doesn't. Not really. I mean, like, he takes bites out of people and everything, but he doesn't hunger for human flesh. Because he would have attacked a waitress then.
Yeah, he's openly just killing.
He's only attacking people who celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
If he was hungered for human flesh,
Which then makes no sense about the tourists going up to the mountain, because they were literally going up there to hike.
Yeah.
They're not bringing a fucking Christmas tree.
Well, yeah, because the way Sheriff is describing it is the mean one attacks anyone. But we've seen throughout the movie that that's not true.
He attacks the ones with Christmas spirit.
Yeah. The website's run by Mayor McBean. And he tries to talk her out of her mission. But she ain't having it. Anyway, Mayor McBean dies, her car dies, and becomes possessed and starts playing Christmas music. I don't know. I don't get what happened there. Anyway, young cop confronts the sheriff. The sheriff helps set up the website. He's behind it too. And he tells her this backstory of a year after the Cindy incident, he saw the mean one. And that's when he set up the plan. He tried sacrificing animals to him, but he'd already developed taste for human flesh.
Which we still know is not true. He's just killing people.
But young cop says he's going to go up on the mountain to save Cindy, despite the fact knowing Cindy's not going up to the mountain. But sheriff won't go, but he does set Doc free. So the Doc goes and warns Cindy. The two of them run up the mountain in time, which is good because the young cop got snared by a bear trap.
Yeah.
But the mean one takes some bullets before running off because the sheriff arrives. And sheriff gets him out of the cave, but he goes back in to confront the mean one. Cindy and Doc get young cop out. Sheriff goes down. Young cop to the hospital, and she's like, it's time for me to end this. So back at her house, it's time for the big fight between Cindy and...
This is what she's been trained for a day
Grinch.
for.
Now, suddenly, all of a sudden, despite the fact he can't dodge rocks, he can teleport everywhere he wants to go.
Funny how that works.
Yes. But, with some help from Doc, she manages to turn the tide. And is about to kill him whenever she realizes he's still wearing the necklace that she gave him when she was a kid.
Aww.
And then she remembers what really happened and how distraught he was over her mom dying. Because, like I said, he didn't try to kill the mom, he bumped the mom and knocked her over.
He's basically doing self-defense, and then she...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was so distraught and upset until Cindy called him a monster, and that's the thing that set him over the edge. So she forgives him in that moment. And in that moment, his heart grew 3 sizes too big
It blew.
and explodes in his chest. And that is the
What
end of the mean one.
For a second, it took me a moment, like when I was watching this film in real time. Like at that moment, I thought he got shot or something. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then the voiceover's like, his heart grew 3 times. I'm like, all of that. You could have just gave him a hug and killed him. For 20 years, they were just attempting to feed him, and he goes on his killing sprees, whatever, and all you could have done was give this guy a hug?
But,
what?
Yeah, that's the end.
Literally, that is...
We see where everyone ended up at the end, and Cindy and Young Cop are together. And they pan up to the mountain, and one last time you hear the Grinch's squeal, and the movie goes. There is a mid-credit scene.
Oh, I didn't.
Yes. You remember the chef he kills and shoves into a box?
Yeah.
He mails it to someone, so we have to see who opens it. And it's like a TikToker who's live streaming it.
I did not even know there was a mid-credit scene. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Alright, pros and cons. Let's pros first.
Pros? There are pros?
There's some interesting deaths.
Yes, deaths is one.
I think... I cannot tell if he's wearing physical prosthetics or if he's CGI.
I want to say prosthetics, just because...
it looks good if it's prosthetics, but there are times where it's clearly CGI.
Yeah. I for sure... But I do want to say, like, there's times where he's wearing prosthetics. It just...
Like, there's a moment where the sheriff is firing his gun in the cave, and it looks terrible. Because the bullets are what's lighting the cave, and you just see, like, the Grinch's face, like, dodging the bullets.
Yeah, I think those scenes are definitely
and it's
CGI.
like, this is fucking terrible. Like,
but
what
then,
the fuck is
like,
this?
when it's a normal scene, no vibe, like, he does look like he's more prosthetic than CGI.
There's the voiceovers don't, like, every now and again, like, he's, like, laughing or he says something, but the words, that doesn't line up, so it seems weird and off.
That's a pro?
No, that's a con. We've officially moved. No, there's one more pro. Yep.
You have one more pro.
I do have one more. I do think, for the most part, your 3 people, Cindy,
Young Cop.
and Doc, work well together.
Though Doc's always getting his ass hit. Like, how do you work with somebody to plan for something, and every time you turn around, you're like, oh, I think that's the bad guy. Then you, like, hit him. I'd be kind of ticked off. I just noticed, I was like, why are you hitting him still?
I'm actually really, like, happy that Crystal Martin got a starring role kind of deal. Because for the most part, she's a stunt actor.
Okay.
Or she has, like, they just said she's Powerpuff Girl movie.
That never happened?
Yeah, I don't think that ever happened.
Unless they had an animation movie way back then. But the live action one, where maybe she was set to star in
It's from 2018 as a short.
Oh, okay.
She was Bubbles.
Okay, then.
So it's like, I'm happy she gets a really, like, starring role kind of deal. Even if it's the mean ones.
Gotta start somewhere.
And she was ripped. She came fucking ripped.
She knew her role. So then, cons.
Everything else?
The editing was bad. The plot holes were so bad that you picked up on it pretty quickly.
Like I said, like, during that big, like, murder spree he did in the diner, it's edited and paced in such a weird way that it seems sped up. Yeah. But at the same time, it doesn't seem sped up either. So I don't know what's going on here, but everything just seemed off. And I know we're, like, judging a B-movie harshly. There are, like, B-movies, indie movies.
Yeah, I mean, they're still
get
standards.
this shit right, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, don't make no mistake. There's still a standard, and sometimes some films, and we've seen with high budget films, low budget films, it doesn't matter that they just don't live up to that standard.
And I know I shouldn't be using the bar here as them, but you have to get close. It's Terrifier. Terrifier pulls his shit off with no money.
Right. So
Until Terrifier 3, which had a huge budget of $2 million.
and made like 40 million.
A lot more than that. They made triple digits million.
Already?
Yeah, I think I think they ended with a $175 million pull.
That is excellent. Like,
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that.
But it's like let the actors like the mean one who I think his name was Billy something. Like let him slow down for a moment, just so you can register what he's doing. Like there are some interesting little references to the movie and show, like when he's crawling around on his fingertips and coming down the chimney, and there was the onion part.
Mm-hmm. Little Dr. Zeus call out.
Yeah.
Which, they played it real close to the chest on that one.
I liked the light up bat that she had wrapped with Christmas lights.
Yeah.
That was an interesting bat. I love that bat. I hated the fact you had candy cane themed guns.
Yes.
That was dumb. You didn't.
I was like, what am I looking at this point? I was like, did she really? What's wrong with the regular gun?
It was fine. It's like, okay, I'll give you the shotgun, fine. But then she pulled out the pistol, and that too is candy cane themed. Like, why did you spend time on this?
Like, because then her fucking suit had jingle bells on it.
The kerosene grenades.
Yeah.
Like, I would not. That's a brave person to hang those on. Like, I'm surprised they didn't break against her.
Right.
Those things will break if the wind blows too hard on them. Like, good lord.
And you're either take them into a hand-to-hand fight.
Full of explosives.
Ooh. So grade.
C-. I'm going to give it a C-.
I'm going to go C- as well.
It was much better than Blood and Honey.
That is true. Yeah, C- as well. They did what they had. They just wasn't full creative about it.
I do think they could have tightened things up and did more practical over CGI.
And less trying to speed up the editing to make it more than what it was. That is our review of The Mean One. Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.